The coalition is planning on cutting international student numbers and raising visa application fees. You will see this all over the news at the moment, and it's going to come with more increasing news of new policies as we lead up to the federal election happening on the 3rd of May. But as an international student, can you actually vote in the federal election? There are announcements on policies coming out that relate directly to you. Unfortunately, not. But let's get back to that in a little bit. I'd like to explain a bit more about the announcements that came out from the opposition party. If the coalition, led by Peter Dutton, win the next election, they've said they are going to cut international student numbers by 240,000 a year, and they're going to raise visa application fees by $5,000 if you're applying to a group of 8 universities. This includes universities such as the University of Melbourne and the University of Sydney, and $2,500 for all other education providers. Now, there may be more details that come out, but that's all we know for now. These are policies that directly impact future international students, and there may be future announcements that impact current international students in the country. We have an article all about this on the Insider Guide's website, and we'll link it in the description below. But for now, I'd like to get into what impact you can have on the upcoming election. Now, unfortunately, international students can't vote. According to the Australian Electoral Commission, and I'm going to read off my notes here to make sure that I don't get anything wrong, the eligibility criteria to vote in Australia are: you are an Australian citizen, you're aged 18 years and over, and you've lived at your address for over 1 month. Now, voting in Australia is mandatory, which it's not in many countries around the world, for example, the USA. Unfortunately, given that criteria, it means that international students are ineligible to vote in the federal election. But that doesn't mean you can't have your voice heard. For example, non-Australian citizens were able to vote in the 2022 South Australian Council elections. So those elections were open to, and again, I'm going to refer to my notes here, international students, temporary or permanent residents, visitors on a holiday visa, and visitors on a working visa. You needed to have lived at your current South Australian address for over 30 days, and you needed to be aged 18 years and over. So again, there are options available. You might just need to do a little bit of research into your local area. If this isn't making sense to you and you're not quite sure what a council area is, that is completely fine. We have an article up on the Insider Guide's website that takes you through all of Australia's electoral system and what rights you may have as an international student. Of course, there are other ways that you can get involved and make sure that your voice is being heard as an international student. For example, your education provider may have a student union of some kind, and you can vote in those elections. That way, you have a democratically elected student leader who will have your voice heard in issues that relate directly to you as a student. If you have any questions about the upcoming federal election, or any questions about your rights as an international student when it comes to voting, please pop them in the comments and we can respond to them. Otherwise, we recommend heading to the Insider Guide's website, where we'll be uploading articles on news of the upcoming election that relates to you specifically as international students. Catch you next time.